All right, Cowboy Nation, this is your brother from another mother. No other. No intro else needed. We're going to talk a little bit about how to defeat the Dallas Cowboys. In order to defeat my team, all you got to do is be physical and win the line of scrimmage or the point of contact. It's not that difficult. It's not that hard. It's not something that you really have to dig deep into the crevices of the thoughts of your mind. It's nothing, none of that. Just be physical, punch them in the mouth. And here's the thing. My team, we got good cover corners. We do. Regardless of how you look at it, we got good cover corners. We fly out to the ball like no other. And to counter my argument, the way this team wins defensively, you got to play with the lead. When this team gets you one-dimensional, meaning that all you got to do is worry about the pass, then these type of things will work out for my team. But when they are able to play with a lead, I'm talking about the opposing, the opposition. When they are able to play with a lead, they are able to galvanize us in multiple ways, meaning that they can run the ball, get upfield, the tackling is suspect at most. And then on top of that, if you really think about it, just think about this all together. When you really look at this team, the pursuit, the way they fly, the way they chase, second to none. I will say that. But we get a lot of people that say, man, these are the hot boys. These are the purge squad. But all the Cowboys need to do is just play football. They don't need to be the purge squad. They don't need to be the hot boys. They just need to be the Dallas Cowboys. Because they get blown off the ball. As you look right here, everybody got a hat on a hat. Cheeto, he comes down to crash, which is cool. But he didn't get the guy down. And this was the team that set the blueprint for everybody. This was the team that allowed other teams to say, hey, how can we stop the Dallas Cowboys? And this is how. This is how you got to stop them. Run at them, punch them in the mouth, have the lead. Now, if the offense is able to keep the defense on the ropes, then that's the story of a different day. But let's look at how this team is able to gut them, gash them, and get upfield. And nobody really want to be about that tackle in action because this guy is able to penetrate, move upfield easily, move people out of the way, and of course, the Colts were getting all of the credit as it relates to their front five. They have the best offensive line, Quentin Nelson and those boys. But I will say this, no. Teams looked at that and they said, man, we see something soft. And my thing is, my Dallas Cowboys, they were not able during this offseason to correct their wrongs. What they did was they put a Band-Aid on the bullet wound. That's just the reality of it. Can the Cowboys win? Yes. In order for the Cowboys to win, they have to go back to the old philosophy of clock management, leading with time of possession, and score early and often. And when they can do that, they will put these things as it relates to the opposing opposition on their heels, meaning that they will pass more than they will run. My Cowboys, if they allow teams to pass more than they run, Cowboys going to come out with the W. They're going to come out with the win because this is the thing. You got a Robert Quinn. He's a dangerous man. Cobra just snaking his way through that. Then you have D-Law. When D-Law know for sure that it's going to be a passing situation, he's one of the best, baby. You got these guys that they went and got. The Malik Collins, the Kerry Hyders, all of those boys, they are quick off the release. They are quick off the jump. They can jump and they can just play to the echoes of the whistle like no other. They're great at it when you're talking about in a passing down situation. That allows your LVEs and Jalen Smith to be freely as well. So when we start looking at these things as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys, last year, think about this. The fewest first quarter points allowed in the National Football League until they met up to the Colts. I can't lie to kick it. 14 points collectively allowed. That's minimum in the NFL. And then on top of that, Cowboy Nation, if you really think about this, if we had not played the Colts, I don't think that there would have been a blueprint out there. I'm blaming all of this on Eberflus because until this point, teams were kind of like hoping and wishing on how to stop the Dallas Cowboys. They didn't think to just run at them. Let's just because remember this, Cowboy Nation, this is a pass-happy league. So they were trying to pass their way out of the Dallas Cowboys defense. They said, man, this defense is medieval nasty. But the coach looked at it, and this Eberflus, think about it, he knew everybody that's on the defensive front. He scouted them. He scouted Jalen Smith. He scouted the other guys. He may not know LVE, but that's cool. He can read the scouting report. But he knew everybody, most of everybody on their front four. He knew their weakness. He knew exactly where to punch them at and make them go, ah. He knew that. So he knew that they're not about their business action. He knew that they're not about that sweat equity as it relates to their front four. If you think I'm lying, tell me where. These guys rushed and ripped right through the Dallas Cowboys front four. They did. Every opportunity that they had, they did exactly that. Ripped through, rushed through. They penetrated. They said that, hey, mano a mano, I'm going to take you out. That's just the reality of it, Cowboy Nation. I can't lie to kick it. So, the Dallas Cowboys, in order to combat against these teams that are running and ripping, and then also when you get tired of stopping the run, or when you get tired of running on them, they can pass the ball out to the flats. They can do that like no other. And the problem with the cover 2 defense, the middle of the field will always be open. All you have to do is control the mic, pass the middle of the field. Here's the thing about cover 2 defense. If you are in middle school, if you are in high school, you're familiar with the cover 2 defense. That is what most high school and middle school teams run. The cover 2 defense is nothing that's going to be just like hard to pick up. These quarterbacks that you're going to play against, they are very used to that cover 2 defense. They played it for over 10 years, 10 to 15 years. By the time they made it to the NFL, they already ingrained, have a mental thought of how to defeat the cover 2 defense. Now, I will also say this, the dirty yards. Teams are able to scrape up those dirty yards. And I'm talking about 2 to maybe 3, sometimes 5 yards up the middle, gashing them. And then when they get tired of tackling, these teams are able to still throw in another running back to be enabled to gash them up the middle of the field, because they're not getting any pressure from a 300-pound defensive tackle. They're not going to get any pressure, Dallas Cowboys. We love this team. We don't hate this team. We see the faults of this team. We know that you can win against teams that not really sold on scheming and really not really sold on penetrations and things like that as it relates to studying of the tape. But when you play against those good teams, they're going to figure out to exploit your weaknesses. And sometimes I will say this too. What's the same thing to make us laugh, make us cry? The way that LVE, Jalen Smith, flies up to the ball second to none. Those boys have the ability to fly, chase. But if you look at it, when you got when you're playing against a Marlon Mack, you're playing against those shifty running backs that's able to find space and able to just put their head down and just run. Those 5 or 6 yards add up to dominance. And we got to figure out how we can combat that. Can we change this now during the season? No. You can't continue to put Band-Aids over this bullet wound. The best thing the Dallas Cowboys can do in this fashion will be this right here. Run the rock with Ezekiel Elliott. You see the beautiful picture of Ezekiel Elliott at this point. Run the rock with Ezekiel Elliott. Control the clock. That's all you can do is control the clock. Score early and often. This is the only situation that the Dallas Cowboys can do, because not out of the heavens you will see that a defensive tackle is going to appear on this team and be dominant. This is an off-season situation. This is a trade situation where you're going to get a guy that's going to plug up that inside, who's going to be that run stopper. But outside of that, it's not going to happen anytime soon unless you start investing in that particular area. I can't lie to kick it to you all. I got to tell you, Russell Maryland, when he was playing for the Dallas Cowboys, he was very, very beneficial to this particular team. A lot of people would not give him the credit. They would look at it and say, hey, old Charles Haley. But Russell Maryland was just as valuable. Those boards that was in the inside, the penetration. And if you look at it, the New England Patriots of crying out loud when they had the Vince Wilfork, when they got the guy Malcolm Brown, and when they got somebody else, his name is slipping my mind. But when they invest, I'm not talking about going out there and getting somebody that's slow and lethargic and saying that, okay, now that you got your big plug, you're okay. No, I'm talking about actually investing in your interior. Then you'll see the fruits of your labor. What I'm saying is, Cowboy Nation, is that this team must start to investing into the interior. Now, can this team win? I'm talking about W-I-N with the team that they got now? Yes. But can they dominate? No, not against good teams because they know exactly what needs to be done. Now, here's the thing. In order for the Dallas Cowboys to get to the next level, they must score early and often with their offense. They must be able, I'm telling you, keep this defense off the field. That is what I gathered from looking at tape. Last year, when they played against the Colts, it would have been better for the Dallas Cowboys never to even show up to forfeit the game because they wouldn't have this tape out there for other teams to mimic. Remember, this is a copycat league. So my only hope, my only love for this team will be, and my only aspiration is what they can do, is you can't fix this during the season now. You got to fix it during the off season. Is to go out there and get a true defensive tackle. I'm not lying to kick it. I'm not trying to put out false narratives for you all. It's right there on the film. It's right there for anybody to go out there and review. You can play the Colts team 20 times over and you would not get that win. You can play the Rams team 20 times over and you would not get that win. You can play the Saints team 20 times over. You may can squeeze the win. But what I'm saying is, collectively, Cowboy Nation, you have to figure out a way to secure the interior of this defense, because now the blueprint is out there. Now everybody knows where to go when they want to stop this team, and that's running the rock. We got to fix this rush defense, Cowboy Nation, if you want to make it far. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace.